What's up, everybody? This is another episode of SPORTS-REUBEN-LIFE. Ruben here. I'm gonna jump right into it. This is gonna be this is an additional video. I just saw word that the NBA is considering to rescheduling, bracketing, and changing the schedule up. Right? Okay. Number one, they talk about going to 78 games. Wrong. That's my opinion. This is gonna be all my opinion of it. Okay. Talking about reseeding. All the conferences, once the playoff starts, they're going to reseed everything. So that way the Eastern Conference, it's not such a lopsided victory for the NBA Finals, right? I see what they're doing with this concept. I'm not a huge fan of it because of the fact that part of these whole playoff systems and the way that all this works, you got to have consistency, right? I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to balance out the markets. They're trying to create a little bit of parity within the playoffs, right? There's some truth behind that because what happens is, it's a common notion or it's a common belief that the Western Conference of the NBA is way top heavy versus the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference is not getting the same respect, quote unquote, that the other conference is getting. Everybody thinks that the Western Conference, it's kind of like where LeBron goes, that's where the strength is, right? And then you have the 5-time NBA final appearances consecutively by the Golden State Warriors. Obviously, that's not going to happen this year. They have a bunch of injuries. People left. Kevin Durant left. He's not even playing, right? Kyrie Irving's, over there doing his own thing over there. They have a good thing. But the concept is they want to reseed the playoffs, and they want to have the 9th and 10th seeds, respectively, play so they can challenge the 8th seed. So that way, it's like you want to incorporate more people. So how is that going to affect the way that we look at playoffs? How's it going to affect the lottery, right? We should address this idea of tanking, right? For certain franchises that are always winners, they have their management, their operations, they're perennial winners, right? Like the Lakers were perennial losers for 5 or 6 years. They couldn't get everything in order. Their back of house was kind of in phrase. The Los Angeles Clippers were a good example. They're starting to turn things around. They had to change ownership to change things around, right? And then if you look at parallels in football, the Patriots, that's a whole long story about how they stunk for many, many years. They have a 60-year history, 40 years of it. They weren't really that good. They kind of could never get over that hump. Tom Brady, Belichick come around, and they're 20 years, they're good, right? They change the perception of the franchise, right? That means that you're worth more, right? So these teams that are tanking, I'm going to give you a good example in the NBA, and we're talking about NBA and this rescheduling. This will inherently benefit the teams like the New York Knicks and the Clippers. They're in a huge market, but they can't seem to get championships in order. They can't build that momentum. Now, the Clippers have an issue in Los Angeles because the Lakers are there, right? It's like the bigger brother that's always kind of hovering over them, right? In my opinion, for the Clippers to kind of, get to the championship level kind of mentality, philosophy, they have to build their own stadium, right? They have to kind of detach from the Lakers and maybe leave Staples Center behind. But anyways, getting back to this whole rescheduling thing, right? I'm not necessarily a huge fan of it. I like the concept, and I like the reseeding of the playoffs, right? So that way it gives you a true 1 versus 2 concept, which means you're kind of destroying this idea of Western versus Eastern Conference. I like that, though. I like that rivalry that you create, that who's going to come out of the East, because the country is divided in terms of, East versus West, right? I like that concept. That's going to be eliminated if you do reseeding after every round. So in other words, if you do the Final Four and you say, okay, we're going to reseed 1 versus 6. So then what happens is you also eliminate this idea that an 8th seed, because if an 8th seed beats a 1 seed, the next round for that 8th seed, if they get beat, the number 2 seed has an easier path than if ever facing the 1 seed. So what it also does, it has a trickle-down effect against the anomalies, against the uniqueness of like, wow, 1 versus 8. They got beat. 1 got beat. They didn't know what happened. It's the greatest upset. Those are tremendous stories. It's going to reduce that. Right? It's going to increase parity. It's going to reduce it. If they want to do anything about rescheduling, you should increase back-to-back games, and you should penalize players for, quote-unquote, sitting out during load management. How do you do that? You get rid of draft picks. It makes it hard for them to build a team. That means they're going to have to blow the salary cap to get players. Goldie, you want to load every load management? It's like a point system. You should do something like that where you just eliminate their ability to draft, and that's gonna stall. That's gonna stall a team from growth. Consequently, people will start putting clauses in there that's not something that we could be doing. Kawhi Leonard put that in. He's doing it. It's effective for him, but it's kind of degrading the quality of basketball that we're watching. So that being said, I thought that was an interesting take on the whole thing. This rescheduling thing just came out. Check it out. Tell me what you guys think. I'm not hugely in favor of it, but I can see that there's some things that can be tweaked in there that I think would benefit the game of basketball. Give me your guys' comments. Tell me what you guys think, right? Tell me. I want to hear about it in the comments. Do you like that idea of rescheduling? Do you not like it? What part of it do you like? If it's an ESPN article, check it out on ESPN. They just announced it, so I'm just kind of giving my opinion of that whole situation there. So, like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Again, it's the Sports Ruben Life. Ruben here. Peace. Thank you.